Today is the 7th day of the Lula Smart trial, and this is the Ghetto Free Press reporting live from Brooks County Courthouse. This case is getting more interesting by the moment. What we don't understand is where is Channel 6, Channel 10, Channel 27, and other news media networks, including CNN, MSNBC, and all the networks, because this is a very high-profile case dealing with voters' rights here in the state of Georgia and in Brooks County, Georgia. It seems as if though there is an asserted effort to keep this case quiet, hush, hush, which resembles the old 1860 Valdosta City Charter that was displayed in City Hall on the second floor leading into Judge Edwards' courtroom many years ago, and I had it removed by requesting that it be taken down. Although that disgraceful charter was a disgrace, some still wanted it to remain. However, let me share with you what that 1860 charter said. It said that the mayor and council shall pass all proper and necessary laws and ordinances for the control of slaves and free persons of color, and to control, suppress, and abate all nuisances arriving from hogs, dogs, horses, and other livestock swaying at large in Valdosta. Well, it seemed as if though that same mentality is yet alive. That charter was removed from the wall, but the mentality and the theology of that charter remains until this day, August the 28th, 2014. For the news media in South Georgia, in the state of Georgia, and across the nation are silent when it comes to voting rights in the Quitman 10+2 case. Now today, we heard on the witness stand, we heard this alive and well, that a manager dealing with the elections here in Brooks County made a statement. Well, put it like this. Attorney King asked, these forms, let me back up and slow down a little bit. First of all, in the two previous trials, the G.B.R. forms, these agents went out into the black community and they took statements from people, not statements, but what they said or supposedly had said, and the person never signed the form. You got somebody just write it down what they say. And it was proven in both of the last cases that what these agents wrote down was not what the citizens and voters wanted to say. And because they did not sign that form, they didn't initial that sign, it proves that something is seriously wrong here with these charges that have been brought up against the Quitman 10+2, and in this particular case, Lula Smart. Now the judge himself on yesterday took note. Judge Gary McCorvey took note of some of the evidence or exhibits he was not going to let into the court at all. So today, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 exhibits that was of concern to Judge McCorvey. First of all, after he sat there for approximately at least 45 minutes, going through back and forth and the prosecution for the state, reading law after law and et cetera, Attorney King said very little. But the point is that the judge himself apparently know the law pretty well, and he's really seemed a little frustrated. But look, the judge straight up, exhibit 52, 55, and 57, he said he wasn't going to let them in under no circumstances. Unequivocally, no. He said that is hearsay, number one, and number two, some of them was double hearsay, he said. But now I want you to understand now that this judge is more thorough than the other judges in this regard. The other judges, Lane and Porter, let this stuff in. They never even questioned. But this judge here, I have to admit, although he closed me down prior to calling the jury and told me I could not record in the courtroom, although I had been given permission to do so, I respect him because I agree I had no business in the courtroom from my level of intelligence, in that I do not want to jeopardize a fair trial in any situation. I am not a part of the 1860 Charter to control, suppress, and abate. Now, back on point. When the judge denied these three, he said he would allow 51, 53, 58. Let me repeat it. Let me back up a little bit. Y'all have to excuse me. I just don't understand why the news media not here to cover this so you'll be informed. Exhibit 51, 53, 54, 56, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62. He said, yes, he would allow those to be put in. But he said he did that because as a court and as the judge, he got to follow the law that was established. But he pretty near said that if it was my way, I wouldn't even let those in. So we can see once again that there is something very seriously, something wrong with this particular case. And moreover, Attorney King asking a question to a manager that's dealing with the polling situation, asked her about how she filled out the form and why some forms have two persons to sign as a witness. He also asked if the way the form was written, for instance, people coming to the polls, then they say they are already showing, the code is showing that they received an absentee ballot. Dr. King broke it down very plain. I just don't understand how in the world we are even in court in the first place. Oh, and the attorney asked a question. With all the exhibits that he showed so far, he asked a question. Any of these complaints that you recorded, which you were required to record on paper, did any of it have anything to do with illegal or criminal acts by Lula Smart? She said no. Unequivocally, she said no. She asked it, the attorney asked that the voters refer to Lula Smart in the problem that they had at the polls. She said unequivocally no. And if you'll notice, I'm not calling her name. I have it, I'm only using titles. And you all can excuse me, I mean, there's more I could say, but I do not want anyone to maybe watch this who maybe is being subpoenaed and get information from it to disrupt or upset the case where there would not be a fair trial. And this is why I'm very careful in regards of certain things. But if the professional news media would have been here, they probably would have been more knowledgeable on how to report this, and they would have told you. But as it is, they're not telling you anything. But I at least want you to know that there is a case going on here, and I want you to know that as Kevin Moran said, there's a great possibility that this particular case and the circumstances surrounding it just may have been orchestrated from people behind the curtain that could reach all the way up to Atlanta, and who knows how far the mole hole goes. Once again, this is George Boss Rhymes. I got to get back into court. I may be missing a few minutes, and I don't want to miss any of it, but I want to cut this clip because in a few minutes we're going to have this on YouTube, and we want you all to help us to get this spread throughout YouTube and Face the Nation, Facebook, so everybody, and on Twitter, so the president, the attorney general, and the governor of the state of Georgia, the Secretary of State, Brian P. Kemp, he said some stuff about the Secretary of State that I want to talk about too. In fact, I'm going to say that before I close. He said that somebody just may need to get with the Secretary of State and tell them that when they fill out these forms, as was done in this case, that they actually get some signatures of the people who provided that information. And I recommend, I'll go a step further and say, when we was here last, the G.B.R, the form that they had when they went out into the field, they didn't have the address up to the top of what address they was at. I recommend that on that form they have an address be put there. And I also believe that the witness, the person that they interview on the street during their investigation also signed some type of form. So we don't have to put all this confidence and faith in G.B.R agents that are being questioned severely in the black community anyway. Once again, this is the Ghetto Free Press, George Boss Rhymes. We report what others ignore. Let me say it again. We report what others ignore. Peace.